Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our 9 p.m. English News edition. Here are the top stories. Lunar Crescent marks start of Pilgrimage Day, beginning of the first day of Dhul Hijjah. For national news, local champions honor the Boost private sector. For the international news, at least 8 Palestinians killed since dawn, since chaos at the humanitarian aid point. The details in this edition, as I mentioned, the title, the crescent moon of the month of Dhul Hijjah has been sighted in Saudi Arabia. The Supreme Court has announced, therefore, the Eid al-Adha is expected to be on June 6th.
لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك.
And now the Prime Minister, His Excellency Mr. Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, received Mr. John Todd, the United Nations Secretary General's Special Envoy for Road Safety on Wednesday morning. Mr. Todd was accompanied by the United Nations Resident Coordinator in Djibouti, Mr. Jose Barahona. This meeting took place as part of Mr. Todd's official visit to Djibouti, initiated at the request of the Mayor of the city of Djibouti, with the aim of strengthening cooperation in the areas of road safety and public transport regulation, two major challenges for developing countries. The discussions focused on the implementation of Presidential Decree number 2024-313, which establishes the Interministerial Committee on Road Safety chaired by the Prime Minister. This committee is tasked with coordinating action among various ministries, infrastructure, transport, interior and urban affairs, particularly through the Djibouti Roads Agency and security forces, to ensure road safety and enforce traffic regulation. Mr. Todd proposed the support of a team of international experts to assist the Djiboutian government. The government of Djibouti and the United Nations reaffirmed their shared commitment to work together to promote a sustainable, inclusive and responsible road safety culture that protects human lives and supports national development. And now, as I mentioned on the title, heading to Abidjan, Ivory Coast, where a Djiboutian delegation led by the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Ilyas Moussa Dewale, took part in the official opening ceremony of the African Development Bank. The 60th annual meetings of the African Development Bank Group officially opened on Tuesday, May 26, 2025, under the theme Making the Most of Africa's Capital to Accelerate Its Development. This major event draws more than 5,000 participants, including heads of state and government, ministers of finance, central bank governors, and representatives from this private sector. The election of the new president of the AFDB group is scheduled for Thursday, May 29, with 5 candidates in the running. The front runners is the Mauritanian candidate, Mr. Sidi Ould Tah, a politician and economist who has been president of the Arab Bank for Economic Development since 2015. Following the opening ceremony, a presidential dialogue took place under the theme Making the Most Africa's Capital to Accelerate Its Development. The summit brought together African leaders committed to advance the continent's development. Among the participants were the president of the Comoros and the former president of Ghana, the vice president of Tanzania, and the prime minister of Niger. Together, they reaffirmed their commitment to the African Development Bank's 5 strategic priorities known as the High Fives: Light Up, Empower Africa, Feed Africa, Industrialize Africa, Integrate Africa, and improve the quality of life for the people of Africa. These initiatives have had a measurable impact, transforming the lives of more than 565 million Africans over the past decade. The dialogue provided an opportunity to assess the current challenges and opportunities facing Africa's development, particularly in the areas of energy, food security, and the development of human capital. And now in Djibouti, the Sheraton Hotel in Djibouti today hosted the lunch workshop for the local champions initiatives organized by the State Secretary in charge of investment and private sector development. The event marks an important milestone in promoting local entrepreneurship and private sector development in the country, particularly in a fragile context striving for economic resilience. The workshop was opened in the presence of Mrs. Safia Mohamed Ali Gadire, Secretary of State for Investment and Private Sector Development. It brought together several key figures, including Mr. Ismail Ibrahim Roble, Minister of Budget, Mr. Yusuf Musa Dawale, President of Djibouti Chamber of Commerce, and Mrs. Fatou Fall, Resident Representative of the World Bank Group in Djibouti. The main objective of this workshop was to present the Local Champions Initiative, a program aimed at identifying, supporting, and showcasing local businesses with high growth potential and socio-economic impact. Participants, including private sector representatives, government officials, and technical partners, took part in the series of interactive presentation, case studies, and inspiring testimony. Mr. Yusuf Musa Dawale, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, emphasized that this workshop holds significant importance for the promotion of local entrepreneurship and the development of the private sector in Djibouti. He highlighted that such initiatives are essential for nurturing homegrown talent, supporting small and medium-sized enterprises, and creating sustainable economic opportunities. And as for the Ministry of Budget, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Ibrahim Roble, he recalled that this program is designed to identify and support local businesses with high growth potential. He underlined the government's commitment to creating an enabling environment where these enterprises can thrive, contribute to economic diversification, and generate employment. And now the State Secretary in charge of investment in private sector development stressed that empowering local entrepreneurs is a strategic pillar for achieving inclusive and sustainable development, particularly in light of the country's economic recovery and resilience goals. And now the Ministry of Social Affairs and Solidarity held a certificate awarding ceremony yesterday, Tuesday, for 83 young beneficiaries from the Balbala neighborhood who completed training under the Integrated Slum Upgrading Project funded by the World Bank. The event was presided over by Mrs. Amina Ahmed Warsama, Secretary General of MAS, alongside with Mr. Abdurrahman Ali Ahmed, Director General of Arilos. It gathered representatives from Al Rahma Association, the President of the Baba Municipality, and several local elected officials. This initiative represents a tangible achievement of the National Human Capital Development Policy, focusing on youth for disadvantaged areas. The training programs offered, including sewing, electricity, mechanics, welding, and paving, are designed to facilitate their economic integration through a comprehensive and inclusive social engineering approach. The awarding of these certificates marks a strategic milestone in the government's ongoing effort to reduce inequalities, promote employment, and enhance the active inclusion of young people in local development. Through this initiative, the government of Djibouti reaffirms its commitment to addressing youth unemployment and fostering sustainable economic opportunities for vulnerable populations. And now, in few words, the president of the Balbala commune emphasized the importance of vocational training as the key driver for empowerment and social cohesion. He highlighted the equipping that equipping young people with practical skills not only enhances their economic independence but also strengthens community bonds and fosters inclusive development. And now Mr. Abdurrahman Ali, General Director of ARILO, stated that this initiative aims to promote the economic integration of these young people. He emphasized the importance of providing them with the necessary skills and support to successfully enter the labor market and contribute meaningfully to the country's economic development. The Secretary General of MAS recalled that this marks a decisive step towards empowerment and socio-economic inclusion. She emphasized that such initiatives are crucial for enabling vulnerable youth to become active and self-reliant members of the society. And now recently, the National Office of Water and Sanitation of Djibouti has observed a surge in the discharge of domestic wastewater onto public roads as well as into the storm water drainage network. Additionally, the anarchic dumping of solid waste into these networks has been noted. This situation severely disrupts the proper functioning of sanitation infrastructure and hampers ONIAD's field operations, particularly during technical interventions and rainy periods. In response to this issue, ONIAD reminds the public that drainage networks were designed solely for the evacuation of rainwater, and inappropriate use jeopardizes their ONIAD. ONIAD reaffirms its commitment to providing quality public service, but this commitment cannot bear fruit without active and responsible participation from the population, demonstrating civic responsibility by refraining from disposing of solid waste into drainage pipes and structures. For further explanation, Mr. Ainan Musa Mohammed, head of the Works Department, provided detailed insights on the issue. He explained the technical challenges caused by the improper discharge of wastewater and solid waste into the drainage system, highlighting how blockages lead to flooding and damage the infrastructure, and called on the community to collaborate in preserving the functionality of the drainage networks. And now, in a recent development within the realm of local crime, the National Police have successfully apprehended 4 suspects involved in a violent armed robbery that took place at a retail store located at PK13. This incident had severe repercussions as the store manager sustained serious bodily injuries during the attack. To shed light on the details of this case, Captain Dilla Mirgan Omar, head of the 3rd District Police Station, conducted a media briefing earlier today. She provided a comprehensive account for the events leading up to and following the robbery, outlining how the suspects forcibly entered the premises, threatened the staff, and committed the theft. Captain Mirgan emphasized the swift and coordinated response of the police force, which culminated in the arrest of the 4 individuals believed to be responsible. The captain took the opportunity to reassure the public that the police are committed to maintaining security and urged community members to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activities. The authorities also expressed their support for the victim and confirmed that medical assistance is being provided. And now a solemn award ceremony was held on the premises of Lycée Arre in Ali Sebeh in the presence of numerous regional authorities, educational staff, students and their families. Among the distinguished guests were Mrs. Saida Waberi Assowi, Deputy Prefect of the region, Mr. Nuh Said Goldon, Vice President of the Regional Council, and Mr. Mohammed Aden Gele, Regional Education Inspector, as well as representatives from the police, the gendarmerie, heads of local schools, teachers, staff, school life members, students, and parents also. The ceremony, dedicated to recognizing and celebrating merit, began with the recitation of verses from the Holy Quran by a student, followed by the national anthem. The principal of the lycée, Mr. Ahmed Abdul Qadir Aki, opened the series of speeches by expressing pride in the effort made by the students. Mr. Mohammed Aden Gele took the floor and highlighted the importance of this initiative. Mrs. Saida Wabiri also warmly honored the laureates with encouraging words. She reminded attendees that the Ali Sebeh region is distinguished not only by its supporting competitiveness but also by its education and cultural dynamism. Finally, the much anticipated moment of the award presentation arrived, making the culmination of an emotional ceremony. Outstanding students, dedicated teachers, community support staff, and active members of school life were successfully recognized for their excellence and involvement with Lycée Arre. And now an identification visit was conducted to establish a support structure for migrant children in Galilee, Tajurrah, and Balho, with the best interest of child as the guiding principle. This field visit aims to identify a suitable reception facility to provide shelter and protection for migrant children. The delegation composed of the Director of Women and Family Affairs, Colonel Idris Garad, and the representative from the Migration Coordination Office will continue their identification efforts up to the Balho border with the goal of better addressing child migration from neighboring countries in accordance with the international standards. This initiative was also seeks to plan a voluntary return program, putting in place all necessary measures to safeguard the well-being, dignity, and fundamental rights of these children. The visit began in Galilee, where the delegation was accompanied by the Deputy Prefect of Al Sabih. It then continued to Tajura, where they meet with the Prefect who guided the delegation in identifying available structures, including the SOS Children's Village of Tajura, a facility active for over 10 years in child protection. The mission aims to assess existing structures and implement a temporary reception system to support migrant children throughout their voluntary return process to their countries of origin. And now, as part of the fight against smuggling, the Dakhil Customs Brigade, in collaboration with the armed RIAD forces, intercepted a significant quantity of contraband cat near to outskirts of the town of Dakhil. The shipment consisted of 14 parcels of cat, which the smugglers intended to transport to the capital. In accordance with the standard procedure in force, this quantity was destroyed on site in the presence of Mr. Omar Musa, head of the Dakhil Customs Brigade. The Director General of Customs and Indirect Taxes, Mr. Guled Ahmed, congratulated all the custom officers and the military forces involved in this successful anti-smuggling operation. Now, Somalia, in Mogadishu, a special sporting event was organized to welcome African football legends, including Samuel Eto'o and Emmanuel, who are currently on official visit to Somalia. The event brought together many football enthusiasts, local authorities, and special guests to celebrate the careers and dedication of these great players to the sport and the development of football across the continent. These football veterans received an official invitation from the Ministry of Youth and Sport of Somalia, as well as the Somali Football Federation, reflecting the strong ties Somalia maintaining with international sport organization. The primary purpose of this trip is to conduct an international assessment of Somalia's situation, particularly regarding security, the capacity of Mogadishu Stadium to host international matches, and the community's involvement in the sport. This is the first time that a high-level delegation from Global and African Football Association has visited the country, marking a significant milestone in Somalia's reintegration into the international sport arenas. So Samuel Eto'o, Emmanuel Adebayor were in Somalia. And for the international news in Gaza, at least 8 Palestinians have been killed since dawn, breaking a 2-month ceasefire. Israel resumed its offensive in mid-March on the Gaza Strip and intensified its military operation on May 17. Under strong international pressure, Israel partially lifted last week the total blockade on humanitarian deliveries it had imposed on March 2nd on the Palestinian territory, where shortage of food and medicine have been worsened. Furthermore, at least 3 Palestinians were killed on Tuesday and 46 others injured after the Israeli army opened fire on crowds rushing toward the humanitarian aid point. Thousands of people flocked on Tuesday to a new aid distribution center run by a foundation in the southern Gaza Strip, causing chaotic scenes. And this is it for this 9 p.m. English News Edition. Thank you for watching us. Stay tuned for more on RTD.